All right. So you had your first panic attack, and you're really tweaked out because your whole world just cracked wide open because you just panicked for no reason. Maybe you were at work or you were at church, or maybe you were just at the grocery store, and all of a sudden you started feeling like you were going to die for no reason at all. And maybe your hearing went out in one ear and you started ringing, and you felt really, really dizzy, and you felt nauseous and anxious, and your hands were shaking, and you felt lightheaded, and you were going to pass out. So you went to the bathroom, and you start splashing some water on your face, and you're going, "What the hell? What's going on? What's going on?" And you're tweaking yourself out worse. And then you get on the phone, you call somebody. Oh, who do I call? Who do I call? You maybe call your mom. Hey, mom, why? I don't know what's going on with me. I think I need to go to the hospital. If she knows what's going on, she's like, "No, you're good." But the most of the time, someone's going to tell you, "Oh, yeah, go into the hospital and see what's wrong. It's better to be safe than sorry." And you go in there and you're like, "Oh, I'm sure they're going to find something. I have a blood clot or something." And they hook you up to the EKG, and that's fine. And they check you out with an ultrasound or whatever, and that's fine. And you start calming down and you start feeling better. And well, what was that? Is that going to happen again? Uh, yeah, you're in a cycle now, whether you like it or not. If you're really lucky, that might be the only time that ever happens to you in your whole life, and you just know how to deal with it innately, and you can move on, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Some people are built like that, you know. Some people have a little anxiety or a panic attack, and they just brush it off, and they go, "Oh, that sucked," and the next day they're fine. Other people, Other people, they get stuck, and they get stuck in it bad. And I know from experience because it happened to me. It's happened to me a few times. But once it passes, once that phase of panic and anxiety finally passes, you forget about it, and some years might go by and you don't have any at all. But then you're a person who's prone to it, so there's always a chance it'll happen again. Now, there's a million ways to solve the problem of panic and anxiety. But the best way to save you a ton of time is to not do anything about it. You're going to go because if you're into that journey, you're going to start going through hundreds and hundreds of videos and books trying to figure out what it was, why it happened, and how to prevent it from happening again. And you're going to try everything under the sun. If it's depending on how severe your panic attacks were or are, you're going to try everything. You're going to do supplements, exercise, new diet. You're going to change your whole entire life. You're going to practice gratitude. You're going to maybe start becoming religious, reading the Bible, doing meditation, doing yoga, playing basketball, doing a new hobby, listening to a different kind of music, keeping your phone away from you at night. You're going to try every single technique possible. And all those things are good, of course, but none of it's going to solve the problem because there's a reason why you're having a panic and anxiety. There's a reason why your body is trying to express that feeling, and that's what it is. It's just a feeling. Anxiety is not a disease, and panic attacks are not a disease. It's not an illness. It's not a mental illness. It's not something you have. You don't have anxiety. You are experiencing anxiousness. You don't need to go take medication. I don't care how severe it is. It might affect your job, and you're going to think, yeah, you need to take some medication because you need to be able to uh, you need to be able to function at work. I understand that. If it's so bad that you're unable to function at work and you can't take some time off and let your nervous system cool off, then maybe pop some Prozac if you feel like you need to. But I'm telling you from personal experience, you don't have to, because I've had panic attacks and anxiety as bad as anybody on this planet. Been to the hospital over at numerous times where I was so convinced I was dying. I would have palpitations where my heart rate would spike to 140 just sitting there. And all it ever was anxiety every time I went to the hospital. It got so bad that my nervous system was so fried that I would have to make myself as cold as I could get so I could shake myself to sleep. And being cold, I would have no blankets, sleep in my underwear, just get it cold in the room so I could start shaking. And I would go, and I'd shake myself to sleep. And what I didn't realize is that was a form of somatic, like nervous system healing. Um, it's like a nervous system release mechanism. But I'm telling you, I've had it as bad as anybody, and I never took medication because I knew that it was never really going to go away unless it went away naturally with me handling it. And I did everything wrong the whole process. I tried so hard. I have to fix this. I have to solve this. I have to change something about me to make this anxiety go away. And I did everything that I mentioned. I read so many books, and a lot of them helped. Um, like, for example, the book Dare. I think it's by Barry McCulloch or something. It's called Dare anyway, and you'll find it right away when you look up Dare. And then Hope and Help for Your Nerves by Claire Weeks. Those two books are the only books you ever need if you really want to read books about anxiety. They'll give you a head start in taking care of it. But the whole point of it is, by trying to stop it, by trying to address it and trying to change all this stuff to fix that anxiety, is just putting all the focus onto the anxiety and amplifying it. The only real way for it to go away is to just completely let go. You have to let it affect you. If your anxiety is manifesting as heart racing, you literally have to sit still and just let your heart race and just breathe and wait for it to stop. Wait for it to calm down, not to stop. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to go, oh, my heart's racing. Okay, I got to go up. I got to go outside and walk around. I got to walk down the street. Ooh, I got to match the energy. You'll see advice online that says if you're having panic attacks and anxiety, you start busting out push-ups, man. Well, why would you want to sit there and start pumping yourself up? Why would you want to match the energy of the anxiety? I think that's terrible advice. You don't want to let it guide you and dictate what you're doing, or else you're going to end up tweaking everywhere, which I used to do all the time because I would be having panic attacks talking to somebody face to face at the bank, and I'd be like, "Yeah, can I just check my balance?" They probably thought I was on fucking methamphetamine, but so don't do that. You have to practice being calm with those painful and uncomfortable feelings. You always have to have an air of calmness about you and let it pass. You have to float through life, and it's something that Claire Weeks says too. Float through your days, lighthearted and carefree. And that's actually Deepak Chopra, I think. Float through your days, lighthearted and carefree, knowing that all is well. And you can have a type of mantra like that too. So if you start feeling these symptoms of anxiety coming up in panic attacks where you're going to have a panic attack, when you start feeling that initial feeling, in my experience, it's going to happen either way. There's no stopping it at that point because once the thought gets in your head, especially if your nervous system is weakened, once the thought gets in your head, you're about to hop on the train whether you like it or not. So you just have to be willing to ride the train. Let that panic attack rush through you. Whew, wow, here we go, here we go. Okay, just rock with it, man, and stop trying to stop it. Don't try to distract yourself. Rub your knee, slap your knee, check your my hands. My heart, is my heart okay? Check your heart rate, dude. I used to check my heart rate 48,000 times a day. I was convinced that I was racing all the time. I would go to bed and it would be racing. I'd wake up, it'd be racing. And listen, I know you don't want to hear this, but when my panic attacks really, really got bad and it cracked me open, it took me 3 years before they went away. And they went from multiple panic attacks a day to having one panic attack a week very fast. And then it went from once a week to once a month very fast. And then once my nervous system started regulating again and calming down, they're just non-existent now. I don't check my heart rate. I don't do anything. My panic attack symptoms have changed now because I've finally got myself away from the cardiophobia. The cardiophobia is a huge thing. But I'm telling you, Once you fix the cardiophobia, that anxiousness in you is going to reroute to something else. So now my latest thing is I'll be in line somewhere and I'll feel like I all of a sudden can't breathe and I'm going to pass out. So I'll just be going, and I'll hyperventilate myself because I'm trying to suck in air, and I'll be like, and all of a sudden I actually am going to pass out because I'm hyperventilating myself. But this is what I do because I know from experience I'm just entering the anxiety loop, and I need this, and I need to accept it and ride it out. So I go, okay, you're going to pass out. You're going to pass out. Just lay down on the ground. Somebody will help you. So I sit there. I'm looking at the lady, and in my head, I know, yeah, I'm suffering right now. I'm having a slight panic attack for no reason, just because I have to stand in line. And fighting it is not going to do anything. If I go give it what it wants, and I go, I got to go to my car. I go to my car. Drink some water. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. That's not going to help you because you're just encouraging escape behaviors. You can't give it an escape behavior every time because eventually you just, that becomes a habit. It's just you're going to go to an escape every time you have the feeling, and it's never ever going to cure, and you're never going to get any relief if you're doing constant escapes and distractions. You have to take that anxiety in with you. I think it's something they say in the Dare book. I think Barry McCullough or whatever his name is says your anxiety is like your little, like you imagine him as like a little monster, like your little buddy. And every time that you feel that panic attack coming, look at him like a little Muppet or something, a little character like, oh, here he is again. Come here. Come on. Sit on my lap. Because I guess I got to hang out with this piece of shit for a while, and you just got to accept it until he goes away. But if you fight him, it's going to become a struggle and you're going to suffer with it, man. So yeah, I don't envy you if you're just starting your journey with panic and anxiety. It's not easy for anyone. And people don't understand how severe it is that haven't experienced it. I mean, I have a lot of friends who, just for one reason or another, never even had that feeling in their life. My grandpa, he's never felt anxiety before. When I tell him about it, he goes, "What the hell is that?" And maybe they didn't have it in the 50s. Maybe they were tougher. I don't know. But maybe something to do with the EMF frequencies or the amount of that we use our phones these days. Who knows? But something's making us anxious, man. I think it's got to be a combo of just our lifestyles and our general lack of purpose and the addiction to phones and short form media and screens and pornography and all this extra stuff, man. I think it just adds up. It frazzles your nervous system. That's another thing. It might be a signal that you do need a lifestyle change. And that's kind of going against my advice because one thing I don't think is good, I don't think when you start having panic attacks and anxiety really bad, I don't think you want to go and do a million lifestyle changes at once because that's just a shock to the nervous system. And then you're going to dissociate like I did because I did a million changes and then I was like, I don't even know who I am anymore. I used to be like focused on being funny and making people laugh, and I had like an attitude. I was angry all the time. I was I thought I was so funny and smarmy and like witty. And then after the panic problem for 3 years and other tragedies that happened in my life, I completely changed my personality. I'm not even the same. I don't recognize that person. If he was sitting here next to me from 6, 7 years ago, you might not even know it's the same person. He had more hair too. But yeah, I wouldn't go and try to do a million lifestyle changes while your nervous system is in that state. But it might be a signal that you do need to make some lifestyle changes. Maybe you need to quit doing things that hijack your nervous system and your dopamine system. Maybe if you're drinking too much, watching porn all the time, you're not doing any exercise, you're eating like crap, you don't socialize with people, you hole up in the house playing video games too much, that could all cause those feelings. And, you know, but the thing is you just got to accept the anxiety. Don't jump on to the cycle. The cycle is, ooh, I feel that feeling. You get that pang of nervousness. You get that sensation and you go, no, stop. I don't want this right now. I can't do this right now. I'm at work. I'm at my daughter's wedding. I can't have this right now. You're just hopping on the train and you're going to get stuck in the loop because you're fighting, you're fighting, you're fighting. It's so hard to learn this technique because it goes against all logic and it goes against your instincts, but you have to learn not to fight it. And it's kind of like telling somebody to just, if you're getting bit by a lion, just let him eat you. But it feels that way, but it's an illusion because it's a fake lion and it's going to hit you, it's going to bite you with gums. So don't get on the loop. It starts coming in, you go like this. Here we go. This again. I'm going to let it flow through me. Whatever I feel, I feel. Maybe it's something else, you know. For a lot of people who are emotionally resistant or not in touch with their emotions, a panic attack to them might be just being sad. I mean, I know that was for me. I never cried. Like my whole life, I would always be like saying stuff like, "You're a man, don't cry," or "Tough it out," and yeah, "I'm not gonna cry. There's one thing I won't do. I'm not. I don't. I like to stuff it down, man. I'm gonna stuff it down," and then it would come out of me. Anything I was sad about would manifest as anger instead. So I was going around all the time like, "Ugh, this fucking bitch cut me off," just mad for no reason. I was flipping out on people. Look at this, just pretending to do that. Got that forehead wrinkle all of a sudden. But um, after all the panic attacks and letting that pass through me, I don't even get angry. I just can't anymore. And it has to do with other things that happen to me spiritually and tragedies in my life. But we can get to that another day when I talk about loss and stuff with everybody. Everybody. Maybe one day. But um, yeah, guys, it might be manifesting, an emotion might be manifesting as anxiousness because you don't know how to deal with sadness. Maybe somebody in your family died and you were sad about it and you went to the funeral, and at the funeral it was a really heavy, heavy scene, and your grandfather was crying and your grandmother was crying, and you get to see that and you're thinking, handling this pretty well, I don't seem to be too phased. But it's because you can't handle it and you just don't know yet. And then a year down the road, something's just going to crack in you and you're going to either start having panic attacks or you're just going to break down and, oh my God. And it'll happen one way or another. If you have trapped emotion and pain and trauma or whatever, it'll crack its way out of you big time and it'll break you down. And I think that's a lot of people's experience with panic and anxiety. It's emotions that you have just stuffed down and they're coming out, whether you like it or not. Oh my God. Okay, that scared me. Um, so anyway, I'm kind of going off on a lot of different avenues and tangents about this. So just to summarize, if you had your first panic attack and you know that's what it is, then you're a step ahead of everyone else. Because usually when you have your first panic attack, you're convinced that you're dying. So first of all, you're not dying. Because if you were dying, you would know. You'd be either dead by now or you would have to go to the hospital. You would be so... Yeah, when you're dying, you're dying. There's no mistaking it for a panic attack. There's no like, this could be death. No, when you're dying, you just know. And it's hard because a panic attack feels like you're dying. But trust me, if you're still alive after 15 minutes of the panic attack, you're not dying. So just make it through. Let it hit you. Don't fight it. Don't run around outside. Don't do push-ups. Don't do breathing exercises when you're panicking. You're just going to hyperventilate yourself. Let it flush through you and just let it work its course and just sit there. Just sit there and do what you normally do. Say, I'm not going to let you rile me up. I'm not going to let you put me on my heels. Let that panic attack sit with you and just sit. I'm panicking. Okay. You got to go about your normal life. You can't let it stop you. So, if you just had your first panic attack and you know it was a panic attack, good for you. Head start. You already know what you're having. Panic, anxiety. Then you can go, that's all it is. It's not a disease. I'm just anxious. Oh, so why am I anxious? Is it my job? Am I sad? That's when you start having those dialogues with yourself and you get to become in touch with your emotions. And that's a huge step. That's amazing. And it's going to suck for a while probably because it's really painful to address that kind of stuff. And it's not fun. You just want to be that one of those people again that's just living their life, walking through every day. Hey, when are we going to? Are Tiffany coming over this weekend? Oh yeah, she is, and Bob's coming with her. Good. Okay, what are we gonna eat? Oh yeah, pizza. Woohoo! And you just want to go through your life, not worried about things. But if you get stuck on the panic loop and anxiety loop, you're just gonna have to worry about it for a little while. It's just the way it is. Um, but it'll pass, and when it does pass, you'll be stronger than ever. You'll feel more confident than ever. And the fact that you know how to deal with this anxiety, you have new skills that you can apply to all other aspects of your life. And I'm telling you, it might take time, but it does work. Um, just look at me right now. I couldn't imagine that I could be talking this calmly and smoothly. It's really amazing to think about it. And I'll probably have a panic attack for no reason tonight just because I mentioned it. But I think it has a lot to do with the practice of semen retention, cutting out pornography. The more that I do that, the calmer I get. And I think it has to do with accepting things and also doing things with my body. I've been doing jujitsu, and the more I do it, the better I feel. It's just it grounds you into your physical form instead of being stuck in your head. It takes you right out of your head, and the more you do something that takes you out of your head, play an instrument, work out, go play basketball, be with people. That's gonna take you out of that anxious realm. um, so I'll make a lot more on this series if anyone ever sees it. And I have a lot I can say to help people with anxiety. I have so much experience with it. I have so much experience with it. Like I could literally tell you anything you want to know, and I don't care. Like, yeah, I'm not afraid. Like, if you need anything or you want to ask me a question, just ask me, and I'll be happy to tell you anything I can tell you. Um, but I just want to save people time and pain, because you're gonna be looking all over for relief and wondering when it's gonna kick in and when it's gonna get better. But really, and if you take anything out of this video, it's this: the only thing that cures anxiety is time. You have to give it time. Time to work through you, time to make you heal. Let it heal you. Let it do its thing. And it doesn't matter how perfectly you do all the steps. You're not going to feel 100% again until time has passed and you've made new habits and you've learned how to handle the anxiety properly and you've given it time for your mind to calm down your nervous system and you forget about everything for a little bit and you're back to normalcy. And it will be normal again, trust me. You'll feel like you did before and even better than ever. You'll come out of it new, better than ever, stronger than ever. And you'll be confident because you'll know now for the rest of your life. It's a great life now because guess what? You don't have to worry about panic anxiety ever again. Now that you've already dealt with it, you know exactly how to address it when it comes up. So it's not scary anymore. Even if you're on a 14-hour flight to Korea to start a job that you have to be there for 4 months straight away from everybody, like I've done multiple times, and you have a panic attack on the middle of a 14-hour flight when you know you have 7 hours more and you can't escape. Imagine that type of terror when you're already afraid of flying and you're panicking on a plane and you can't get off the plane. What are you going to do? Have a parachute? So you have to sit there and tell yourself, oh my God, I'm freaking out on a plane with 7 hours left of my fucking flight. And I can't do anything about it. And if I lose my mind and tweak out on here, I don't know what's going to happen to me. So you just got to accept it. I'm telling you, you learn. Because you're not going to lose your mind. Anyway, there's a lot of... We could go really far with this, but it's getting too long. And no one's going to watch this. But hang in there and just let it flow through you, okay? You're going to be fine. Trust me. All right.